Hello everyone, I'm here at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time to begin a lesson in telepathy. I know it sounds a little far-fetched, but I've been working on theories and then trying to prove the theories by actually calling craft in, which is evident in my videos. So this will be a kind of more formal approach to telepathy, and you'll see a series of slides, and at any time, if you have a question, I'd be glad to answer. So let us begin, and if you're late to this, it's fine because I'm going to upload this video to YouTube, and you can carefully pause it and review the contents. There's a lot of material here. I'm only probably going to cover 30% of it tonight. Essentially, this program is for starseeds who are now awakening because there is a shift in consciousness. You can see it in the turmoil that we see in our world today. And part of my mission, it's a humanitarian mission. I'm not charging anything for this. This is to put out, again, to seek awareness and help people become aware of what's about to happen and have a level of discernment. And these principles I'm going to show you are basically left to you to incorporate in your mind's eye as you think they are fit. So it's really a part of an experimentation you can do, that you can call craft in with love. And then I'd like to hear what your experiences are from what I'm trying to portray here. So over time, since I'm doing this every day, it may seem a little repetitious, but I wanted to go out to as many people as possible in a new way. And I will stop at any time again for any questions, okay? So first I'd like to show you, this is a video of me interacting with craft early on when I was developing the theory and I wanted to test it. So here I'm using the laser as what I consider an amplification of my biophotons. And the gentleman was with me as a co-worker who was somewhat skeptical of what I was trying to say. So we went outside. I called the craft in, and you see it as a blinking light. Had him hit it with the laser and intent. Loving intent. And this is what happened.
Okay, it's recording. Go ahead and tell me what you see.
I see a ball of light that was not there before,
Right.
and it is pulsating, very, very bright.
Right. Now hit it with the laser. Don't lose contact with it visually. There you go. Hit it with the laser and just try and say hello, whatever.
Hello. Oh, it's like
Is it reacting?
it's reacting. It is reacting. It seems to be getting flashes of light just over and over and over again when I hit it. And now it's moving up and down. That's incredible, because that was not there when we first started scanning, but once the laser came out and we started looking at it with the laser, it just made itself evident.
I'm getting goosebumps again.
Wow.
So here this craft appeared from the ridge, and after years later of researching the local populace, I've determined there's enough evidence to assume there might be an actual alien base under that ridge. Later on, there would be multitude of ships that would be seen on that ridge. And that also happens to be where Bigfoot is also present. And I will at some time go into my Bigfoot encounters. So that is just one of the short videos I have. I have hours and hours of live interaction with craft with various individuals. And here there was just one. And later, as you get more prophetic at this, or no, I'm sorry, not prophetic, proficient, I believe that, especially for starseeds, you will see immediate showing. Now I'm using an infrared camera, and in a different slide I will go into the model number. I don't have that ready today. This is a daily ongoing experience for approximately 1 hour. And in the future, I will do live broadcast of alien ships that I'd like you, the audience, to participate in. Now, this is my statement of purpose. It's somewhat lengthy, but I believe it's worth going over and seeing if you can take time to read it. Maybe not now, but when you have the copy. I actually can read it. On December 17, 2017, my friend Bill and I were confronted by the landing of an alien craft on the Navajo reservation. A non-audible frequency was used by the alien craft on us. Since then, we have both independently acquired the ability to have telepathic and healing frequency and involved with the quantum field. These videos, then, are an attempt to demonstrate ongoing interactions I have with alien craft by telepathy. In addition, are historical perspectives videos of Native American elders speaking about alien encounters. Frequency healing session videos of individuals are also included on this channel. So I have been doing healing using frequency devices, and I won't go into that until we cover the rudimentary geometric aspects of telepathy. Also included are the videos explaining telepathy, stemming from my research into sacred geometry. I build on the work of Nassim Haramein and his work with the Merkaba and its mathematics defining a black hole. That's where I was able to extrapolate a geometric shape from the Merkaba that is involved with telepathy. It is the goal of Native UFO to instruct the basis of telepathy to anyone interested to reacquiring the ancient skill we all possess. In that way, humans may then realize that we are all one in love. So we need to come together as a species and recognize that we are not the enemy of each other, however we categorize each other. The true enemy is in the E.T. Star Wars that is happening around us. Not necessarily in the sky, but maybe also under the ground. And we may be caught up in this cosmic war. One consciousness, one people living in symbiotic relationships with Mother Earth, Father Sky, extraterrestrials and all forms of consciousness. This will lead to humans, then, being ready to join the Galactic Federation, which is at our true path to thrive and survive as a species. We are truly all natives to Mother Earth. So this is more what I believe to be a Native American philosophy, but I think it should be considered by all cultures that we work as an extension to Mother Earth and not someone that combats the consciousness of the Earth. So, as this progresses every day, we're going to cover these topics here. I don't know if all this will essentially be squeezed in say, a few months from now, but we're going to start with telepathy, and then how it's involved with alien contact, and also, of course, with your friends and your loved ones and your family members. Soul regression is something that I'm going to have a person with me who's doing soul regressions on abductees. And we would like to encourage anyone to step up if they have an ongoing contact experience. Frequency healing is an extension of telepathy, because what you're doing in telepathy is you're defining frequencies. to create reality. And part of those you can direct to actually healing yourself and other ones. And then all of this culminates with what I believe, so should be in the process of, which is that of ascension. Because whether you take it in a more kind of biblical or Christian perspective, or of a raising of consciousness, this is what we're talking about. So telepathy really has roots, ancient roots, in alchemy, in the transformation of energy to one another. It's a really defining the basis of how mind matter interact. And my research is putting out the theory of what's called gamma synchrony, meaning 40 times per second. And this is coming from a Dr. Hammeroff, who I will have a slide on later, who states that every second you have these aha moments, and you string them together like frame rates of a video camera, and that gives you your awareness. And I believe this can be represented by 40 mini black holes a second that you're emanating from your, he would describe it as your microtubules, which are proteins within the dendritic gaps. And again, I'll go into that at more thoroughly. So, my visual representation of the universe begins with a tetrahedron as a pixel of the holographic universe. Some would argue it would be the dodecahedron. But for this purposes, I am presenting this. So the tetrahedron is a four-sided pyramid. And it is the building block that defines the quantum field consciousness interaction. So according to Nassim Haramein, if you arrange them in this manner and converge them, then you get a geometric structure first discovered by Buckminster Fuller that's called the cube octahedron. So the cube octahedron has 12 vectors of force equally distributed into the middle. And this provides the perfect balance of energy to create a mini black hole. And that is a cube octahedron there. So part of your task is being able to visualize these objects in your mind's eye, manipulate them, and project them. That's essentially as simple as I can make it, what you're trying to do to project and amplify your thoughts via biophotons to the craft. So I extracted from the cube octahedron an array of 4 tetrahedrons that define a sine wave. Now, a sine wave is the essential universal construct to define frequency. This comes fairly easy for me because of my ultrasound background. And so this is here is a representation of what I'm speaking of. You see 4 tetrahedrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, all joined in this array, slightly cantered at 30 degrees. In the two-dimensional plane, you can see clearly the sine wave, a curved structure like this and like that, and that defines a wave. So if you, in your mind's eye, can change the vector distances, then you can create any frequency that you want to have emanate out to the craft. Thought wave, sine wave. So this is, again, my particular theory. I did not get this from anyone else. Quantum gravity is essentially brought in by our consciousness into a mini black hole, and which is here, and then it is extruded or extracted, not extracted, but projected as radiation or frequency. So we emanate frequency with our thoughts, and in doing so, we evoke the quantum field to create mass out of the plasma field. So I think of it as a nucleus or a core of the quantum field surrounded by free associative elements, or the plasma field, creating matter, creating reality. So here's an animation I did in Google Sketch so that you can have more than one perspective at this thought wave. And I'll play it really briefly for you. So you can see in the axial plane and the coronal how it's defined the different perspectives of this thought wave. So in my example, I consider a thought wave as an emission frequency or a kind of photon that you prescribe. So if you really consider that we're in a three-dimensional world, so the energy of the thought wave would not just be two-dimensional, it would actually be three-dimensional, which would give you two egg-shaped spheres connected. That is essentially a three-dimensional wave is what you're seeing. And you can compare it to this. So this is the essential object in your mind's eye that I ask you to contemplate, be at peace, and project love to these crafts. So, defining mini black hole, according to Nassim Haramein, we're surrounded by the phenomena of a black hole or portal, whether it be at the atomic level, whether it be the center of the universe, whether it be in our heart chakra. They all define this central connection with a black hole and its creation of what's called the toroidal field. So here you have the mathematical representation of the Merkaba, and you can see the outline of the cube octahedron here in the middle, which is the result of these vector forces creating the center origin and the correct proportional energy to create a mini black hole, which I equate directly to creating agape love. This is an actual scientific quantum-based example of a very essential aspect of humanity, and one that we need to focus on and be in relationship with each other. So you have the black hole, the Merkaba, that creates the toroidal field. And I believe the starseeds who are listening to this will all make sense and give you a template for all of this to be correlated. So this is the toroidal field. I believe this also represents to how the universe is actually portrayed, where you have energy being extruded and then coming back into source. So these lines or vectors of force not only define, for example, galaxies being formed, because that's one of the curiosities is why do galaxies expand almost at the speed of light? It's almost not possible, and then disappear. Well, this may be a kind of explanation for that, where they would be coming out of the tremendous black hole in the middle of the universe that the Creator provides, and then experiencing reality and bringing information back to source. Well, that would also define the path of souls, how they would be venturing out from the center of the black hole in the middle of the universe, experience reality, experience all the different aspects and lives of their development and their spiritual evolution, and then deposit the information back to source. It's a very beautiful woven concept that I believe has some truth. So one of my early inquiries was I noticed how Native American art was portraying everywhere the assemblage of triangles and their convergence. And I'm wondering, is that something to do about the definition of a black hole in their artwork as an ancient oral tradition? And so here you see the Hopi rugs, and clearly the representation of converging triangles like the Merkaba is doing. And so I said, well, let me superimpose my geometric model I created in Google Sketch on Native American art. And there you go. I believe this particular rug is very close to what I'm contemplating about defining a thought wave. So then you look at crop circles. What are crop circles saying? I believe they're a kind of consciousness information field that is being given to us that we have to ascertain. And I believe it hints to this model of the thought wave and the creating of the Merkaba to shape reality. So here are examples of that are found in various fields throughout the world. What I'm trying to do is stimulate a visualization for you that you can take in. Okay? And here's one that's pretty prominent. And you see around it are these two circles that are converging similar to the figure eights. That would be a creation of the Merkaba. I did not see this when I was formulating my theories. This was just fitting the theory that I had put in place. So then you move on to Emoto's ice crystals. Dr. Emoto was a Japanese scientist who experimented with children projecting their thoughts into water, whether it be thoughts of hate, love, disgust, and what resulted is ice crystals that were Merkabas. But they were very beautifully constructed when he did thin ice sections of them. So it again led me to a proof of concept before I actually started engaging with craft, that this is what I was doing, is I was creating energetic, loving Merkabas, as what's demonstrated here with Dr. Emoto. So work has been done to visualize a photon from a slice, an axial plane per se. I'm a CAT scan technologist, so I again feel very comfortable with being able to imagine this. So think of a beam of light and slicing it, and what would it look like at almost the level of the quantum field in its boundary with the plasma field. And it would look like this. It looks like converging triangles. And I believe it can, if you remember, I showed you the Google sketch rotating the thought wave. This would be what you would see if you were in the tube of light. So you're producing these photons in your microtubules, which are in the dendritic gaps of your neurons. And I'll go more in depth on another slide. So alien ships in numerous of my videos, they create a triangle amongst the ships that seem to act as portals. I have many examples of this. And I find it curious how they would have that shape, and that's how they're portrayed in the sky. But remember, we're limited because we tend to interpret everything in 2 dimensions. And this is a slide of that. This is a triangular formation that arose from the mesa outside Skinwalker Ranch. I went there just very naively to see if I could evoke the ships, and I'll show you the video shortly where that happened. I was just there in a state of love. I actually felt a lot of unsettling energy there, and but I asked the Creator for protection. I rarely feel threatened at all. So if you were to take those two oblong spheres and elongate the center portion, this would be how you would quantum entangle or quantum project to the object. These are all for you to, again, have something to grasp in your mind's eye. So next will be a video portraying a mothership that was the size of a 747 that I encountered in Colorado. And I immediately used the telepathic visualization and a laser. And I had an individual with me who was encountering many abductions. And I believe they came to abduct her again, but I was there and they sensed my consciousness. So I'll play you that video.
That's the largest craft I've ever seen.
Come from, that's the one David was telling me about, I think. And I am here.
It's a giant mothership. And above it to the left is a blinking craft.
You should laser beam that thing.
Okay, keep holding it.
Do it. I know I caught some type of blue laser beam on your... Oh my goodness.
Tell me if it reacts.
Okay.
It might actually descend.
What's it doing there? Oh, it went little. No, it's still there. It's still there. It's still there. It got smaller. It's gone.
So this, if you can imagine, was quite traumatic. Here you're out in a plateau in a desolate area, and this mini sun shows up at night and starts descending upon you. It was almost like out of Close Encounters of the Third Kind or something. And so my immediate reaction was, again, to project love in this telepathic model. And I believe what you saw here is it began to hide from me, which is okay because maybe it felt uncomfortable with agape love. And then it disappeared. So I went back, and this resolution that I'm using from this camera is quite remarkable. And I was able to zoom in 1,200 times to a particular frame at 1/30th of a second. And what I discovered in its disappearance process was this. I believe it created a portal or a wormhole and disappeared into it. And that's what it looked like. So what you're looking at is one of the frames of the video I just presented at 1/30th of a second, and it essentially expanded an energy field of this manner. And then a few frames later, it then, I believe, went completely from its plasma state to light, which is right here. So it changed itself into a cylinder of light. And if you take a very close observation, there's actually filaments, static filaments that are around this cylinder of light. And another thing that's very odd against the law of conservation, this is the laser beam, but look how it's sliced off. That is not possible in Newtonian physics. Lasers or photon stream, the only thing that affects it is gravity, where it bends around. And this is all in the atmosphere. But it's so uniquely divided. So this frame right here, scientifically, is of great importance. And I'm still trying to approach astrophysicists about this. But of course you can see the difficulties. Maybe not as much now, with all mainstream media getting involved with the UFO phenomena. So yeah, what you saw in the last slide was some unknown field. Maybe it was the quantum gravity field. that stop the lasers in their tracks. So this is when I went to Skinwalker Ranch, and it's called the UFO campground because it's so popular from the TV show. So I stayed there in my camper, and it was quite an arduous journey. I unpacked, drank some coffee, set up my camera, went into meditation, which I encourage you to do. You put yourself in a peaceful state, a loving state. And at the campground were a few other couples. I was by myself, and I approached one of them, and I said, I'm going to evoke craft coming out of here in this east position, the Navajo stone circle, which is very ancient. This is the mesa right above Skinwalker Ranch. Skinwalker Ranch is down here. And so a lot of the phenomena on the show was an identification of a portal right here. So the three of us began a meditation, and then this is what happened.
Yeah, there's two of them. Don't you?
So when the craft first appeared, this is right after sunset. It seems like daylight, but it's not because of the qualities of my infrared camera. A plasma ball appeared. It rose right out of the mesa. And I was so excited. And I had eyewitnesses that it was evoked. I didn't launch rockets in the sky. This was just done by the projection of that telepathic wave that I demonstrated to you. And this is a very ancient portal that was known by the Navajo.
It is.
It's going. Where are you going?
You can see it with the naked eye?
Just move. It's moving this way.
Yeah?
It's moving towards you now.
So what began to occur just in the moment was numerous other craft began arising out of the mesa. And you have this series of twinklings by the orbs, which is distinguishable from just regular stars. That's how you can tell that they're ships, because they're rotating in terms of their plasma light field around them. And when you hit them with a laser, they intensify their activity. And that gives you a hint that you're looking at craft and not any other phenomena. Because obviously you don't want to be pointing craft at aircraft.
That's for sure. What can be UFO?
Yep. And there's a second one above it.
And now
It's brighter.
I could see it with my naked eye.
Oh, yes.
It just moved. Oh, I can see it still with my naked eye.
Oh my God.
It's pulsing.
So one of the theories I'm proposing is the more individuals, or was referred to as conscious density, that is amassed in a towards craft, the more they respond. So one of my hopeful goals is, as I can begin to instruct more people about this process, that when I go online live and look at craft, we're going to have a giant consciousness directing our energy to these craft. And I believe they may respond in some similar fashion to like a crop circle.
Wow.
Now you see how they formed a triangle. One here, here, and here. And it acts as a creation of a portal. You start to see little flickerings here and here of other ships appearing here to the left. And again, the way you distinguish them is their rotation. So there's a question. Can you say more about how the ships are similar to crop circles? Well, it's been theorized that crop circles are a form of an emitted consciousness, whether it be from the Earth, whether it be from ET. It's kind of a universal blackboard. There was a famous case where we did a binary transmission, and I should include that slide as well, of various aspects of humanity, its DNA code, what planet it was on, and what was the source of the device that sent out this binary frequency. 10 years later, right near this observatory where this message was sent, was a crop circle that was an answer. And it defined the DNA of that extraterrestrial group in the crop circle. It defined the geometric shape of the device used to send the message. And so it was a key occurrence that we were in direct conscious communication with another extraterrestrial race or several. I don't know if that answers your question. Well, hello, Sunshine. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of wild moments, and I'm hoping the word spreads about what's going on here. So, I believe, in retrospect, what you're seeing is a light beam coming out of the mesa right here, which is, you can't explain that.
You're on.
So we're out here by the mesa, and Roger came up and mentioned that we might see some ships come up over the kind of like the portal or vortex, and through his night vision camera and some of the lasers, we were able to see like 3, 4, 5 like really distinct lights. Just sort of pulsating and flashing, and then I felt like through the laser and the intention, those were kind of like breathing or pulsating back. So it was a really cool experience. And then I could feel some coming up over this way. So definitely were there for a little while and really, really visible through the night vision camera, and then later super visible with the naked eye, which was really cool.
Did you have an intuitive sense about it as well?
I think on the left side, I felt something, and then was like shot the laser that way, and I could see sort of something pulsating up from the ground, which was really cool. It was just really cool to see them all kind of. It looked like they were coming up from the ground and then sort of like making a line or a triangle right above the mesa.
Great. Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
So this was several years ago when I ventured up there, And I'm going with my partner up there again, but this time we're taking Starlink. So I'm hoping that real time here on TikTok and in YouTube, we are going to interact with these craft along with the audience and see what comes of it. So we need to come together as one people on this planet, focus our intention, focus our agape love, and take our place at the table of the Galactic Federation. We have to do it ourselves. We have to figure this out ourselves. So part of the process is forming group consciousnesses. Teilhard de Chardin identified this as the noosphere. He was a geologist and looked at consciousness as another form of a strata around the earth. So when we come together, like minds, we form these group consciousnesses that can change timelines, that can change our reality. And this is what we need to do and focus, because consciousness is what comes out of that black hole in the center of the universe. It defines everything. It defines through thought waves, which I demonstrated to you as a visualization of our essential essence of our soul and how it travels. So what you'll see next is on the Navajo Nation, I assembled a group of colleagues, doctors, nurses, security people, and we all went and put intent to the sky. 40 ships showed up and made a tremendous hexagon in the sky. Now, if you can recall the Merkaba I keep referring to, its perimeter is a hexagon. Its perimeter that in its rotation that defines a black hole is a hexagon. And then in the same video shortly after is just a short clip of ships appearing over Taos Pueblo.
Holy shit. Are you going to record this?
Yeah, recording.
They're all around it.
Yeah, there's 6 of them. 4 of them are making a box formation.
They changed the formation though. So like a hexagon now.
There's 6 of them.
How do you record this?
It's on record right now.
Holy shit.
6 of them,
That is just nuts.
huh? Yeah, you'll see with you. Oh, it's a laser.
It's closer, Roger.
So here you see the lower point, which is a craft of the hexagon. Here and here are others that form that vector. And above us are other ships that finish the hexagonal shape. Below are a number of craft. So they came out in unison in response to our group consciousness.
Yeah, they're closer. They shifted. There's something going on.
There's one of the ones that's right next to it is making colors too.
You know,
Where's Johnny?
Come here, there's more. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See? Mm-hmm. 5 more showed up after I hit the laser. Now this was inserted in that short video, but this is another slide which I will go into depth. I had access to the actual crash pieces of the Roswell crash of 1947. And on one of the pieces of the craft, they etched a triangle. Now, why would they etch a triangle on a starship? Just recently, a few weeks ago, I'm sure you're aware of this boogosphere that was found and is being analyzed. And essentially you're seeing silicon chips in etched on its surface. And how is that then evoking quantum field interaction by just its very geometric shape. So again, I'll go in depth separately about the Roswell crash pieces, and because I intend to do this every day until more and more starseeds are awoken, and we're being prepared for this event of ascension, event of a raising of consciousness. And unfortunately, see, we're seeing telltale signs of that by the chaos that's erupting in the world. So that's my presentation for now. I have 15 more minutes. In the future, I'll keep adding more videos, and I'm going to do this on a routine basis every day to catch as many people as possible and give them this information. This short presentation will be on YouTube if you'd like to download it from my YouTube site to study it carefully. And for those that have been at this for a long time in this process of enlightenment, it's my theory that you may only have to view this 2 or 3 times and to get the sense and start evoking craft yourself. But I encourage you to protect yourself, to be in prayer, to be in love, and no entity can touch you. What I'm trying to do here is establish a way for universal communication amongst all our people, and how we can then reach out to other civilizations. And I think that's extremely important right now. So just for reinforcement, I'm going to replay this video.
Okay, it's recording. Go ahead and tell me what you see.
I see a ball of light that was not there before,
Right.
and it is pulsating, very, very bright.
All right, now hit it with the laser. Don't lose contact with it visually. Here you go. Hit it with the laser and just try and say hello, whatever.
Hello. Oh, it's like
Is it reacting?
it's reacting.
Sorry.
It is reacting. It seems to be
Yeah, react. Yeah, say.
getting flashes of light just over and over and over again when I hit it. And now it's moving up and down. That's incredible, because that was not there when we first started scanning. But once the laser came out and we started looking at it with the laser, it just made itself evident.
I'm getting goosebumps again.
Wow.
All right.
So there you have it. I'll get more succinct and more exacting about my statements, and I don't really expect too many questions initially because this is a lot of information and there's much more to come, which essentially is continuing to be a proof of concept in almost every area of the sciences that should come back to these converging of triangles, should come back to this creation of a thought wave emanating out of the Merkaba or the cube octahedron. That is what I'm trying to stress as a visualization for you. And then through your relationship with the universe, that it manifests as a phenomena. So here you're observing this thought wave structure from various angles to give you a more strengthening in your mind's eye. And these two spheres actually joining like this is front page news in like physics.org, which happened after the fact of quantum entanglement. That's how they say quantum entanglement is represented. And again, the black hole being created by the geometric shape of the Merkaba, giving us the toroidal field. And I'm so honored to be amongst the native peoples here, the Hopi, the Navajo, the Zuni, all in their art having converging triangles. Beautifully shaped, as you would hopefully imagine, beautiful thoughts would produce beautiful geometric shapes. It's quite nice. Peace, love, truth through light.
That's the largest craft I've ever seen.
Where did it come from? That's the one David was telling you about, I think. And I am here.
It's a giant mothership. And above it to the left is a blinking craft.
You should laser beam that thing.
Okay, keep holding it.
Do it. Oh, no. I know I caught some type of blue laser beam on your... Oh, my goodness.
Tell me if it reacts.
Okay.
It might actually descend.
What's it doing there? Oh, it went little. No, it's still there. It's still there. It's still there. It got smaller, smaller, smaller. It's gone.
Yeah, there's two of them. Don't you?
It's turning color.
It is.
It's going. Where's it going?
You can see it with the naked eye?
It just moved. It's moving this way.
Yeah?
It's moving towards you now. That's for sure. Fucking UFO.
Yep. And there's a second one above it.
And now
It's brighter.
I could see it with my naked eye.
Oh, yes.
It just moved. Oh, I can see it still with my naked eye.
Oh my God.
It's pulsing.
Wow. You're on.
So we're out here by the mesa, and Roger came up and mentioned that we might see some ships come up over the kind of like the portal or vortex, and through his night vision camera and some of the lasers, we were able to see like 3, 4, 5 like really distinct lights, just sort of pulsating and flashing. And then I felt like through the laser and the intention, those were kind of like breathing or pulsating back. So it was a really cool experience. And then I could feel some coming up over this way. So definitely were there for a little while and really, really visible through the night vision camera, and then later super visible with the naked eye, which was really cool.
Did you have an intuitive sense about it as well?
I think on the left side, I felt something, and then was like shot the laser that way, and I could see sort of something pulsating up from the ground, which was really cool. It was just really cool to see them all kind of, it looked like they were coming up from the ground and then sort of like making a line or a triangle right above the mesa.
Great. Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Holy shit. Are you going to record this?
Yeah, we're recording.
They're all around it.
Yeah, there's 6 of them. 4 of them are making a box formation.
They changed the formation though. So like a hexagon now.
There's 6 of them.
How do you record this?
It's on record right now.
Holy shit.
6 of them, huh?
That is just nuts.
Really? Yeah. You'll see when you. Oh. It's a laser.
It's closer, Roger.
Yeah, they're closer. They shifted. There's something going on.
There's one of the ones that's right next to it is making colors too.
You know when.
Where's Johnny?
Come here. There's more. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see? Mm-hmm. 5 more showed up after I hit the laser. So thank you. It's been approximately an hour. There'll be more information coming, which means the hour might be growing a little bit. I encourage you to go to my YouTube and review this video that was done today so that more questions can arise from our group consciousness. Again, thank you for your time. Take care.